So here we are at the third dungeon of the game, the Lanayru Mining Facility. And overall, I have to say that I think the Lanayru Mining Facility is one step up from the previous two dungeons. I felt that the first two dungeons, while they did some unique things, they were fairly simplistic in that they were rather short. There were some new puzzles to the Zelda series as a whole, but yeah, it wasn't really much of a risk, I would say, for Nintendo. They were just solid, regular dungeons. I think the Lanayru Mining Facility, on the other hand, it's quite unique. There's a lot of brand new puzzles. Has a sweet dungeon item. There's 5 brand new enemies just in this dungeon alone, which is nice. And yeah, it's probably one of the more fun dungeons, I should say, in the game. Right in this initial room, you'll run into one of the brand new enemies, and it's these scorpion-like creatures known as Arachas or Arachas. Basically, they'll just crawl around on the ground, and they'll jump at you on occasion and try to latch onto you. They're fairly harmless. They're kind of tedious because usually they come in numbers. You'll never usually find 1 or 2 of them. They're usually in groups of 5, 6, 7 of them, and in some cases in the later dungeons there's dozens of these right next to each other. They shouldn't give you much of a problem. Just sword slashes will do them in. There is one bomb just hovering over the area right here, and you can use the hook beetle to grab it and carry it over to all of the various bomb statues that are in this room to knock them down. And there's some goodies behind some of them. You'll find some rupees. Other times you'll just find Aracha enemies. But 2 things we want to do is at the corner of the room, which you saw me do just a moment ago, knock that one down and then pull the lever, which opens up the door. And similarly, there's another lever at the other corner of the room, and this lever will open up one of the gates found over here. If you look to the side here, there's a treasure chest, but, well, a gate is blocking the pathway. If you run on over to the corner of the room, you can pull the lever here, and this will cause that gate to come down. The sand in this area is it's just far enough where you need to use your full stamina meter, so be sure not to if you go off to the sides a little too much, you might not be able to make it. So despite the fact that I opened that gate, I completely and utterly forgot to get that particular treasure chest. I don't know why, I just completely blanked. However, I do pick it up later on, after getting one of the items that I find out that, oh, there's a treasure chest here, I missed it. Anyway, there are 2 Staldras here. We fought one of these in the Skyview Temple. There's 2 more of them here, and the strategy is pretty much identical to just like before. You have to cut all 3 of the heads off the Staldra, and the good thing about them is they always leave red rupees for you. At the other end of the room here, there are a few Arachas. There are 2 doors on each of the sides of the room, but one of them is closed and you'll need a small key, while the other one is just, there's a gate blocking it. So there's not much we can do yet. Over here, we can push the block against the ledge over here, and we can climb on up to get to the higher platform. From here, just head on through the door to get to the next room. And this next room is sort of like the main chamber of the room. It's like the central hub where there's several rooms that spider out from the different sides, and we'll be entering and re-entering this room several times. For now, you just want to head off to the path to the right, but there's some boxes that block your way. So what you want to do is grab the bomb with the hook beetle, carry it over, and blow up the crates over here, allowing you to jump on over. There is a bird statue here, and it's a good idea to save, just because Like I said, this is sort of the central hub room, so we'll be coming back here quite often. And each time we come back here, almost each time, we create like a new shortcut. So as long as you save once at that bird statue, you should be fine through much of the dungeon. Jump on over here and climb the staircase here. And here's the next new enemy, or sort of a new enemy. It's in the form of a Keese, but these are Thunder Keese, basically electric Keese. Much like how there's the electric choo-choo compared to the green choo-choo, there's the electric Keese, or Thunder Keese, in comparison to the regular Keese. They're not as troublesome as the choo-choo, the electric choo-choo. In fact, you'll just don't slash at them or while they're having their thunder like electrified. You could use your shield bash as well, but they're not too much of a problem. Anyway, now that we got the small key from the treasure chest, return back to the previous room, and you can jump off to the room to the left, or what is the east end of the map, and use the small key to head through the door. This large room here has a bunch of new enemies as well. The first of which comes with this enemy that seems like he'd be more fit in a Super Mario Brothers game. But this guy's known as a Froak, and basically it's got like these spikes whenever you draw near to it, and it's just like a big floating, sort of like a fish type thing. I don't really know how to describe it, other than I believe it's based off the similar enemies from the Super Mario Brothers, in particular that were in the water in Super Mario Brothers. They got sort of like the spikes and they're big bubble type creatures. I don't know, they're kind of cool. Anyway, make your way over and climb the steps over here. And, well, sorry, don't climb the steps because there's a box. But if you turn to the right, there is a bomb. So just like in one of the previous rooms, we want to send out the beetle, grab the bomb, carry it over, and break the wooden box that is blocking your path. Afterwards, just climb the ladder and step on the tile switch on the ground here. And this causes the gate in the center of the room near the ceiling to open up, and it allows you access to the time shift stone that is right here. So you can send out the beetle while standing on the tile switch and hit the time shift stone, and it will shift this entire area to the past. There's several new enemies now. And the whole area has changed. It's all mechanical now. There's like the rotating floors, and it's pretty sweet. One of the first new enemies here is a Beamos, and these Beamos are they've been staples in the Zelda series for a while now, and there's several ways of going about defeating it. One way, it's sort of like a totem pole, and you just have to chop it down. Do a horizontal slash to knock down the lowest layer, and then just do a jab to stab it in the eye. This is one way of defeating it. There's several other ones. One you sort of saw me do is you can sort of keep your distance from the Beamos and deliver a Skyward Strike and release it in like a horizontal fashion. This will basically it's just a distance, a projectile way of knocking down the layers of the Beamos. Alternatively, you could use your shield, and once it like shoots at you, its laser, you just deliver a shield bash, and it'll stun it in the process. So I use that later on in one of the next times I encounter a Beamos, and even later on in the game, you get other items that allow you to defeat Beamos in even more ways. So much like I commented earlier on in the walkthrough about the Deku Baba, how there were so many different unique ways of defeating a particular enemy, the same can be said about the Beamos in this case. In some cases you'll find Beamos that are like dual layered, where they have two levels that you have to use horizontal slashes to knock them down, but the process is pretty much the same. It's just that they're slightly more powerful. Anyway, open the treasure chest, get the red rupee, and then continue along this pathway here. Despite the fact that this room is quite unique and different, it's still fairly linear, with only slight diversions from the path. This part doesn't make sense. You can actually walk up the incline, but if you're just walking along the regular, while it's not on an incline, you can't walk. You're just walking in place, sort of like you're on a treadmill. It doesn't make sense that you can make progress while walking on an incline, but not on a straight pathway. Anyway, don't mind that. Just pull down the lever, and it'll open up the door and make your way on over to get to another new room here. This new room has a bunch of Froak as well as Arachas that are along the ground. The Froak, they sort of they double down as bombs in a way as well, because when you hit them, they'll explode, and depending on whether you hit them while they're like spiked up, they might explode right then and there, or they'll just be pushed off in the distance, and then if you hit them, then if they hit something, then they'll explode. This particular Froak over here, it's behind the boulders, but it'll make its way over it. You want to hit it so that it explodes and it breaks the boulders, so it allows you to jump on over. From here, just make your way over to the ladder at the north end of the room, and once you climb up the ladder, you will find the dungeon item. It's sort of a throwback from a previous Zelda game. It's really sweet, it's unique, it's different, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until the next video, so I will see you guys then.